A Harris County grand jury returned murder indictments against Harris County Deputy Shauna Thompson and her husband Terry in the beating death of John Hernandez. It all began May 28th outside of a Denny's when Thompson confronted 24-year-old Hernandez in front of the restaurant for urinating while he was drunk. Investigators say there was a fight and Terry Thompson placed Hernandez in a chokehold for a long period of time while his wife, the deputy who was off duty, held the man's arm down. And all of this was captured on camera. Hernandez was taken to the hospital where he later died. His death was ruled a homicide by strangulation. Now, we have just learned here on The Factor Uncensored that the deputy and her husband have just turned themselves in. Now joining us here, the family of John Hernandez, still grieving their loss, but the grand jury's decision is a step closer to justice. Melissa Hernandez joins us now. First of all, to hear that the deputy and her husband have turned themselves in, your thoughts on that?
I mean, I am very happy in the fact that they have turned themselves in. They should have done that from the beginning. I feel like this is a big step forward, and I am just so relieved that they're no longer on the streets.
One of the things that I have been saying here on The Factor Uncensored, if you or I were to get into an altercation and deputies would come to the scene, you and I would be arrested immediately.
Of course.
And we just didn't understand why it took so long for those individuals to be number one, indicted and charged, and now they're turning themselves in. Once again, the deputy and her husband both turned themselves into the Harris County Jail today. Now, hearing that the grand jury came back with an indictment, was that a step closer to closure? Because I know you have a long way to go, because all of this is fresh and all of this is new.
I feel like it is a step closer. It's a step in the right direction. Like I said before, this is just the beginning. We're not done. We will get justice for John because that is what John deserved.
When you guys realized that the grand jury came back with the murder indictments, did you really expect that, the way the system has been working with law enforcement officers versus civilians? Did you really expect a murder indictment in this case?
I didn't expect two. I was hoping for one, but when they said that both of them would be tried the same, that was a surprise to me.
Was there a sense of hopelessness with your family knowing that here you guys are up against law enforcement?
I want to say that there might have been a little slight amount of hopelessness, more of we just didn't want anyone else to suffer what we've been going through. But with this being done and the way that it was handled now, I just want to say thank you, and that we really do appreciate everyone coming out, supporting us, and all the witnesses that have come out, or the organizations that have been with us since day one. We really do appreciate everything everyone has done for us. And how is John's wife doing? She's okay for the most part. I mean, what do we expect for her to be? Like, of course she's going to be upset. She witnessed everything. She begged for help. She begged for him to stop, and he didn't. So.
Melissa Hernandez, thank you for coming on the Isiah Factor Uncensored. We appreciate your time. Now, many didn't support the district attorney's decision to send the case to the grand jury. They thought it should have been handled immediately. They thought it should have been an arrest on the scene. But today's indictment has gotten support from both the DA and the sheriff.
We believe that this grand jury true bill is a reflection of our community's belief that a crime occurred, and that crime was murder, and that it was participated in by Terry Thompson and his wife, Deputy Shauna Thompson.
The criminal justice system is complex and not always simple, but I think that we've all worked very hard to try to do what was right and to make sure that at the end that justice would prevail. And it's still an ongoing process, but we support the decision of the grand jury.
Now it's time to take an in-depth look at the action of the Harris County grand jury and the death of John Hernandez. Joining us to talk about it is Charles Adams, former police officer, talk show host, and now attorney, Factor legal analyst CARMEN and Hernandez family spokesperson CESAR ESPINOSA, who's also the executive director of FIEL. Welcome to the Isiah Factor Uncensored. First of all, we want to remind you guys that the deputy and her husband both turned themselves in. Start with you, Charles. Does that mean they're already charged, or do they have to be arraigned and go before a judge?
Well,
go ahead.
Clearly, they're going to go before a judge, but when they're indicted, they're charged. What typically happens, and why people are upset, is, you know, the grand jury indictment's a perfunctory process. It really doesn't have any meaning left in Texas. Carmen might disagree, but they arrest someone and then they take it to the grand jury later. So, but by taking it to the jury first, I mean, I was very cynical. I was convinced that the district attorney was using the grand jury for cover, and we weren't going to see anything happen. And I was pleasantly surprised. I was shocked that the wife was charged, but clearly her conduct, and police officers should expect to, you know, we live in a county where we should expect the police to be held to a higher standard by the DA's office, and often in this very incestuous county, you also might disagree, they've been held to a lower standard. We've seen that apparently Kim Ogg is doing things differently. They've been held to the appropriate standard. They were both charged with murder. You know, it's an interesting case.
What about the speed of the case, Carmen? Did it go really fast, or was there some concern where people were saying he should have been arrested immediately? With your legal expertise, how fast was the case? Appropriate, faster than usual, slow?
First of all, they should have been charged in the first instance, the night it happened. Now, I know that Sheriff Gonzalez has said that things took a turn for the worse and that people didn't expect what occurred. So the delay was unusual, no question. But equally so, commending to Kim Ogg, she moved it through grand jury faster than most cases ever go through. I mean, it was in grand jury at the beginning of the week, and they sent it in, and it's out by today. That's unheard of. It just doesn't happen like that commonly, and that's why the attorneys representing the deputy as well as the deputy's husband are upset about that, because they didn't have any time to get in there and slow that process or change the outcome. And, you know, just like Charles said, I was surprised that they were charged with murder. I wasn't surprised that the wife was charged. I think there's no question that she was complicit and that she has criminal liability. But again, I'm pleased with the fact that they charged him with murder, because I think it's absolutely warranted in this case.
Cesar Espinosa, do you think public pressure and the high profile of this case had anything to do with the speed that we saw it go to the grand jury, Harris County grand jury?
I definitely think that a lot of public support and a lot of public opposition to them not being arrested in the first place was what helped was a catalyst to help the case move forward.
As you talk, Cesar, we want to show this brand new video of the deputy and his and her husband turning themselves in, so we can go ahead and roll that as you talk about that. It's coming in, and we'll be showing the video as well.
This is a scene that should have happened the first night. The family was very upset that and there's still more witnesses that are coming forward, and the family was very upset the way they were treated versus the way the aggressors were treated. So it's important, you know, I know this is going to bring the family.
There they are turning themselves in at the Harris County Sheriff's Office.
It's important that we continue to push forward so that this not only leads to an indictment, but it finally leads to fair punishment for these people who did commit a crime on the street and who were judge, jury, and executioner of Mr. John Hernandez.
Charles, did that second video where we saw them physically in the altercation and them holding Mr. Hernandez in a chokehold, do you think that made a huge difference in this case? Because it seems like before then things were moving a bit slow.
Well, first of all, I'd like to respond. I hope that public sentiment didn't impact what Kim Ogg did. We don't want a public outcry to force the government to change something. But clearly the video, you know, I mean, videos either exculpate or incriminate, and I mean, just the length of the chokehold was disturbing. I mean, they're presumed innocent, but that video was very, very damning. And really, I think it's that second video that it resulted in the wife being charged with murder, because she was sitting there holding the leg, holding the arm in the video. In manslaughter versus murder, it all comes down to mens rea, to the culpable mental state.
In the last 30 seconds, Carmen, do you foresee a conviction? We always see officers who are indicted, but many times they walk away in the last 30 seconds.
A lot of people seem to think that these people are going to be cut loose. I don't think there's any way that's going to happen. This is a high-profile case. Kim Ogg made it very clear that she's taking it seriously, and there's no question that she took it into grand jury and that she asked them to look at murder, and that's exactly what they returned. I don't think there's any way that this deputy will ever be an officer in Houston or anywhere else again, and I don't think either one are going to be cut loose with nothing.
Thank you guys for coming on the Isiah Factor Uncensored. We will definitely follow this, and we want to remind you the deputy and her husband have both turned themselves in. Now,